Hello everyone, today I'll discuss species diversity and its measurement. But first of all, I'll tell you about the term biodiversity. This term was first coined by Walter G. Rosen in 1986. Biodiversity means the variety and variability among all group of living organisms and the ecosystem complex in which they occur. We have three levels of biodiversity: species diversity, genetic diversity, and ecosystem diversity. So, species diversity is a kind of biodiversity. See, wildlife biologists or conservationists often want to identify locations of high species diversity. If, say, in the broader sense, species diversity is simply the number of different species in an area, community, ecosystem, etc. However, there are many other specialized quantitative definitions of species diversity that ecologists still yet have developed as a means of comparing the overall diversity of different communities at varying geographical scales. If a community has high level of diversity, so that will lead to increasing levels of community stability and biomass and production. And all these three processes have a complex relationship. Emergent properties of a community. There are different emergent properties such as scale, spatial and temporal structure, species richness, species diversity, trophic structure, succession, and disturbance. Scale is the size of a community, provided that the area or habitat is well defined. Because a community can be a system of almost any size, from a tiny rotting log to a forest or to the surface of a Pacific Ocean. Spatial structure. It is the way species are distributed relative to each other. Some species provide a framework that provide or creates space for other species, and that set of species creates space for other species, and this process goes on in a similar way. Temporal structure is the timing of the appearance and activity of species. We have three scales to measure diversity, and these scales are quantitative indexes which have been given at three different geographical scale levels. Alpha diversity. It refers to the number of species found in a small homogeneous area. It strongly correlates with physical and environmental variables. It can be measured by counting the number of different species from different taxa within the ecosystem. Means number of species in a certain community. Alpha diversity comes closest to the population concept of species richness. That means the diversity can vary according to habitat type, landscape or ecosystem. For an example, if we talk about the forest of Sariska Tiger Reserve, we will find few species of trees or animals in about 100-hectare area as compared to the Sundarban of the similar area. Gamma diversity. It measures total diversity of several ecosystems within an entire region. It refers to the total species richness over a large area or region. Ultimately, it represents total diversity of a given region. It can be estimated using the given equation, where is S1 plus S2 minus C. S1 is total number of species of ecosystem 1 or habitat 1 or community 1. S2 is total number of species of ecosystem 2 or habitat 2 or community 2, whereas C is common number of species from all these ecosystems or these habitat types or communities. Beta diversity, it is also known as the ecosystem diversity. Beta diversity measures the present and changes of a species diversity between ecosystems. It involves comparing number of taxons are unique to each of the ecosystem, or say number of different species which are unique or common to each of the ecosystem. In simpler terms, it calculates the number of species that are not same in two or more different ecosystems, habitat types, or communities or environment. It also can be estimated using the given equation, where is in bracket S1 minus C bracket closed plus in bracket S2 minus C bracket closed, and it can go on in the similar way. Whereas S1 is a total number of species of ecosystem 1 or habitat 1 or community 1. S2 is total number of species of ecosystem 2, habitat 2 or community 2, and C represents unique species or common species of these given ecosystems, habitat types or communities. Beta diversity is a link between alpha diversity and gamma diversity. It can be represented as beta is equal to gamma divided by alpha. It represents rate of change of species composition along an environmental and geographical gradient. For an example, if we want to calculate alpha, beta and gamma diversities from different ecosystems, we have here three ecosystems: forest ecosystem, grassland, and third one is desert. And column 1 is representing different species. In the forest ecosystem, we have from A to J species. In grassland, we have from F to L species, and in desert, we have L to N species. These A to N numbers may be different bird species, mammals, herbivores, or any taxons of animals. When we want to calculate alpha diversity, as it is a simple counting of species, we can count it in forest ecosystem and it is coming up to 10. In the grassland, we can count it here, it is 7. In the desert, it is 3. When calculate beta diversity between forest to grassland ecosystem, we will count the species which are not common. So in forest ecosystem we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 species. It represents the beta diversity between forest ecosystem and grassland. Similarly, we can calculate beta diversity between grassland to desert ecosystem. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8 species which are not common in these two ecosystems. And in the similar way, we can estimate beta diversity between desert to forest ecosystem or any ecosystem, or between different habitats, or even in different grids, different plots. The gamma diversity is a total diversity across these all given ecosystems. This lecture would be continued in the next lecture. Bye bye.